What's up, guys? This is Guys at Magic. We're coming back for part 2 of our multicolor commander review for Modern Horizons 2. My name's Dave, and joining us today, we also have Hunter.
Yo!
And Shane.
Hola.
So the way that we're doing this is we are talking about the commanders in alphabetical order. If you missed it, part 1 should also be linked up, so we can go ahead and provide the details for that in the
top right corner.
In the top right corner.
In the description.
There we go. Talk to our editor here.
Hi.
So, the first card that we're going to talk about today is Lonis, Cryptozoologist. It is a green and a blue. It's a legendary creature, Snake Elf Scout. It says whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, investigate. It also says you may tap it and sacrifice X clues. Target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library. You may put a non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. Hunter, what are your thoughts on this?
Blue's Clues, man. He's pretty cool. I really like him. He makes a bunch of clues. I just wish that it was in white because it could have taken advantage of the cool white investigate cards as well, like Bygone Bishop, Thraben Inspector. Those are some pretty solid white cards.
I agree with you. I think that white is also really good whenever it comes to flicker effects, and that's kind of where my brain goes to with this. So I think it would have been cool. I actually not entirely sure that this card needs the help of a third color. I think just being in Simic is probably going to be fine as is. I'm a big fan of this card. We do have a player here who it feels like every commander deck they build seems to be Simic, though. Shane, what are your thoughts on this card?
Love this card. I think this is a fantastic card. It should be the best one in the entire video we make. This is the best card.
It's your favorite, huh?
It's my favorite card, yeah. I like the fact that I get to, do stuff and I can control people's stuff, and I think it's going to be a budget version of. I really want to build a Send Triplets deck, and this kind of was like, hey, I mean, we can do that without spending a bunch of money, but I'll probably build Send Triplets, to be honest. But this is pretty cool still.
Yeah, this is pretty nuts if you can get it humming.
Yeah, if you're looking to play with your opponent's stuff, this card is dope. If you're not looking to play with your opponent's stuff and just neuter your opponent, this card is still really dope. So if you can end up flickering this card, so for example, if you're using Deadeye Navigator as well as Peregrine Drake, you can cast those cards repeatedly. So what you're going to end up doing is you're untapping and tapping down your mana or your lands in order for you to pay for that combo, which doesn't matter because you're going to net infinite mana. And you're going to also net infinite enter the battlefield triggers or some arbitrarily large number. And then at that point, you can tap it and sacrifice 100 clues or however many. And then target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library. You can take whatever you want and cast whatever you want from your opponent. And so long as you have a way for you to untap this thing, that means that you can also just cast everything from your opponent's deck.
Yeah.
Yo.
You can leave your opponent with just lands, and nobody's winning the game that way.
You're getting me excited.
So what kind of decks do you see this piloting or being in?
I really love that idea of like that blinker flicker type deck, especially whenever you start going into combos. If you don't want to build it so aggressively, you can start just kind of building it around, like, I guess, clues, and it still kind of is cute. It does things, but if you're sacrificing 3 clues and hoping to hit something with with mana value 3 or less, you start running into this potential issue where you might whiff on this thing. Sometimes, I don't know. I feel like this is the commander that, like, if you build it correctly, it can be very, very powerful. If you don't build it correctly, it can also completely do nothing at the table. So it's kind of one of the two different directions, but I look at this like, I'm just going to build this around a combo.
I'm going to do nothing at the table, dude. It's going to be great.
There you
go. So overall, the grades for the commander, I'm giving it a B. I said it's a dope card that has potential to really harm your opponent with taking all their stuff.
I agree. I put down a B for this one as well. I think it does require a little bit of a setup. I love the fact that this thing only costs 2 because you're going to get it out immediately. And you're probably never going to hit a point where it's going to cast too much for you to just recast this, or where it's going to cost too much for you to just recast this thing if your opponents are targeting it repeatedly. I don't know. I love this card. It's simple. It's 2 mana. It gives you access to green and to blue, which are 2 of the best colors in Magic, or at least 2 of the best colors in EDH. This card is solid for me. I'm gonna give it a B. I don't think it's quite at the A range. My mentality for this is like an A is something that I need to like legitimately fear if somebody else sits down at the table with it. So it's one of those decks where it's like I need to actively shut this thing down, or I need to kill it before they can really start moving. I don't think it's quite there, but I'm gonna put it a B. It's a very high B for that though.
Yeah, I gave it a B too, a high B. I had to curb my enthusiasm because I know it's not like a meta breaker, but it's still cool. Dude, I was just looking through all the cards that would potentially go in this deck. I didn't even think about, dude, a tireless tracker would be fucking nuts with this card, dude.
Yeah.
Holy manana bana, dude.
I mean, green has a ton of access to clues. So if you watched our last video, the first card that we talked about was the Esmeralda, and we bitched and complained that like red and black don't really have a whole lot of food outlets. Green and blue actually do legitimately make clues.
Oh yeah.
So like you're not just playing bad cards to help support this. You're actually playing good things too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we have Piru the Volatile. It is 2 red, red, white, white, black, black. And fun little note about this: I heard that this actually had to be like have its name changed, and it was either Spanish or Portuguese because apparently like Piru means penis, and they're not allowed to put that on a Magic card, so they had to change its name in another language. This is a legendary creature, Elder Dragon. It's a 7/7 with flying and lifelink, and it says at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay a red, a white, and a black. It also says whenever it dies, it deals 7 damage to each non-legendary creature. Fuck this.
I hate this card so much.
You said
Like,
it's a penis? I like it a lot now.
It's a nod to the Elder Dragons from the Legend set. Other than that, because they all did like the same thing. They all had the same cost. They all had the same. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack it unless you pay this. But this card is just terrible. I'm sorry, man. 8 mana, not a commander. Especially one that does nothing.
It's 8 mana. It's not in green either. So it's like it's not even a color that you're like realistically ramping it a whole lot in. It's in white and red, which are the 2 weakest colors in EDH, and then you happen to have black in there to hopefully save your ass. But like this does nothing. And then like to pour salt on the wound, it taxes you every upkeep.
Yep.
You guys are not understanding how to play this card, I don't think, dude.
Tell me how this is a good commander, Shane.
All you have to do is get 8 mana one time, and then you put this bitch in a reanimator deck, and you have a board wipe whenever you want. You never pay the fucking upkeep tax.
Sorry, do you mean the board wipe that deals 7 to each non-legendary creature?
Yeah.
So
how many legendary creatures are you playing?
Well,
everyone has one.
Every deck is at least built around one.
So wait, you're right. Your commander
it kills no commanders.
That's fine. I don't need to kill a commander. I have a kill spell in my hand.
You will. You'll kill a commander. You'll kill your own whenever you choose not to pay the upkeep.
Right.
Bingo.
I think this card isn't as bad as you think it is.
So what? So you're saying the potential deck, Shane? You're saying reanimation?
100%. This thing would live in my graveyard. I'd pay it once. It'd be like, oh, fuck, that's a lot of mana. It would die. It would kill a bunch of shit. I would say, all right, cool. It's one of my graveyard, not my command zone. And then I would use like one of my 1 mana fucking bring back from the graveyard. All right, cool. Now it costs 1 black to play this spell.
So what happens if I exile it?
Well, then I put it to the command zone.
I don't think you can. I'm pretty sure that if you allow it to go to the grave, it's fair play.
No, you said whenever it moves zones, I can change it. So eat my ass. It's going to my command zone.
Let's look this up because I think that if you actively choose to put it in the graveyard and it gets exiled, you fuck yourself.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
No,
it would not work like that.
Shane's right.
I'm right, David. And you know it.
Damn.
So okay.
I'm giving
What's
it a
your
C.
grade then? A C.
Yeah. It's not a fucking meta breaker. I'm crazy. I'm sure other things do way cooler stuff, but It's not like you guys are so one-minded simpleton
No,
fucks.
I said this is an F. Don't play this. Period.
I know.
I don't want
That's
this in the 99. This is an F.
Well, of
I
course you
don't
don't want
want
a
this in any
99.
deck.
He doesn't want
This-
anything, dude.
This is a great. This is great.
It's terrible. You're wrong.
Cost
The average
8.
Agree to disagree.
the average here is a D.
It's so hard to cast, dude. It's 6 specific mana pips.
Dude, how many rocks do you have in EDH? A billion.
It's 6 specific. All right, whatever.
You guys
This
are
thing,
crying
the
so
game
hard.
has ended before this thing comes out and does nothing.
You're probably right.
Let's move on. All right, next up we have Sythis Harvest Hand. It is a green and a white for a legendary enchantment creature nymph. It says whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card, and it's a 1/2. I feel like Hunter had some strong opinions on this one, so Hunter, you go ahead and take the lead here.
I really like this card. She's a great, legit enchantress commander. She's definitely gonna. You're definitely gonna build just an enchantress deck around her. Straight up. However, is she a better enchantress than Tuvasa? That's up for debate.
So Tuvasa also includes blue in its color identity. So it does give you access to a lot of other tools and toys, and they do similar things in that they're both trying to draw you cards based on enchantments. One of the big things, however, being though, is that Tuvasa only draws you 1 per turn, whereas this is going to potentially draw you multiple so long as you can continue to play multiple. I don't really care too much about the gain 1 life thing on this card. I feel like for the most part that's just kind of irrelevant. Your life total on a game of Commander really doesn't matter a whole lot until you're dead. So I don't know. The difference between 40 and 60 life really isn't a whole lot.
She's definitely going to draw you a bunch of cards when you make an enchantress deck, which is always good. There could be definitely a possible combo with her too.
Shane, what are your thoughts on this one?
I don't remember, honestly. I'm reading my notes that I took, and I don't understand what I was trying to say here, but
I don't either.
I think it's a decent card, but my notes say otherwise. So I said it feels like a trap commander. Not quite sure what my motive was behind that. I also wanted access to red for some reason. Whatever. I think it's a decent card. I think it's a 2 mana planeswalker. Can't go wrong with that.
It's definitely a creature.
But whatever. I meant commander. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
I like how you compare this thing to Tuvasa, Hunter, because I feel like Tuvasa is a card that you want to go Voltron, so you're throwing auras on it to make it bigger because it gets a +1/+1 whenever you get those whenever you are enchanting as well. So it's going to get much bigger than this thing will. However, I don't think this is a Voltron commander. The more that I look at this, the more I think that this is actually kind of like a commander where you're trying to lock your opponents out. So you're trying to play those stacks pieces. You're trying to play those effects that are going to like make it more difficult for your opponent's decks to function. And because you're dropping just enchantment after enchantment after enchantment, I feel like she has the potential to draw a shit ton of cards.
What I said.
So
Yeah.
I think you actually take this in a different direction than Tuvasa. They're both really good with enchantments, and I feel like this one losing blue definitely does hurt. But because she's trying to hit from, at least my perspective, because she's trying to hit from like a different perspective, I think she's still good.
Well, I think she's very good. Matter of fact, I think she's great.
Sweet.
I thought she was so great, I ranked her a B. But I also said, I don't know if she's the best.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're playing enchantments, you need green and white, and that's kind of like the absolute minimum. So she meets that.
She does, yeah.
I'll give it a B.
I'm gonna give it a B as well. I think she's pretty solid.
Overall, the average?
Average is a B. 3 Bs make a B.
BBB.
ABB.
Next up, we
ABB.
have Yusri, Fortune's Flame. This is a 1 blue-red legendary creature. It's an Efreet with flying. And it says whenever it attacks, choose a number between 1 and 5. Flip that many coins. For each flip you win, draw a card. For each flip you lose, it deals 2 damage to you. If you've won 5 flips this way, you may cast spells from your hand this turn without paying their mana cost. That's a line of text that has never been broken. It's a 2/3.
Yep.
I don't like it.
Why not,
I don't
Shane?
like it for an exact flippin' reason.
What is that reason?
Chaos. And chaos, like chaos, always kind of, like somehow fucks me. And we have a person on the table that likes to play chaos and likes to flip coins and likes to roll dice, and it happens to always go in his favor. And
Who's that person?
I don't know, just some idiot. I don't want this card to be a thing. So yeah, I don't feel very strongly. I feel very strongly about chaos cards.
Well, I'll tell you what. I did some number crunching this, and this has a 3.125% chance of hitting all of them correctly.
Well,
So, David, when are you going to build it?
I'll say that means every time.
I don't think I'm going to build this card because it also has a 3.125% chance of me just taking 10 damage. And I feel like that would actually go more in that direction where I swing, I hit you for 2, and I dick myself for 10, and then I'm just kind of sitting there with a sad face. God, if you're a gambling addict, man, this is the card for you.
Oh, so you're saying Hunter's gonna build this card then?
He's not a gambling addict. He's just
Oh,
really good at losing money.
that's
I
hilarious.
think that if you're going to be playing this card, like you need to go pick up Crack's Thumb, and I'm pretty sure that card just spiked. I also love this with some of the other coin flipper cards out there, like Zinder Split, if I pronounce that right. There's no fucking vowels in that name. So you're gonna be drawing a lot of cards. You have the opportunity to potentially reflip coins, which I mean, if you get to flip 10 coins instead of just flipping 5 coins, you got a lot more coins potentially win the flip. I think that this card has potential if you really build it around there, but like at the same time, there is a world in which this just hits you for 10.
I would say more often than not, it hits you for 10.
I think on average though, like you attack with this and you're taking like 4 to 6 damage and you're drawing 3 cards, which is really good. It's just like I don't know. I think that this card has the potential to be like really, really fun. But I'm not gonna look at somebody playing this and think, man, okay, this is something that I really need to deal with, because I mean, realistically, they might be dealing with themselves faster than what they intend to.
So the deck you see it in is just jank, right?
It's coin flip. The
Coin
whole
flip.
thing. It's a lottery ticket, man. You just everything, you're flipping coins and you're praying for the best, and like you're hoping for heads.
Yeah. I
Big bucks
gave
for whammy?
this a B. I said it's nothing serious, but it can be fun to bring to the table. I think it would be and hilarious. Might I add?
See, this is our gambling guy.
I'm not gonna build it. You are.
I'm actually not gonna build this. You guys think that I am the chaos player. I only like the chaos whenever I had the potential to control said chaos.
Ah,
This,
the weighted dice. You're right.
yeah, there we go. that double-headed coin there. This strips a lot of power out from underneath me. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, there are ways for you to potentially like bolster your odds with this, but oh boy, I'm gonna hurt myself a lot. This is
I'm
this is
okay
gonna
with
hurt
that.
me. 4 to 6 damage per turn.
Yikers.
Yeah, that's gonna start to add up really quickly.
Technically, there is a 3.125% chance of hitting them all incorrectly as well.
Well, yeah, that's what I mentioned. And I mean, if you do happen to actually flip heads, or if you happen to win all 5 flips for this, being able to spell or to cast spells without paying their mana value, like you better just like go fucking crazy that turn.
Oh yeah.
Like if you do that, and you're like, okay, well let me
Here are
go
my
ahead
2
and
rocks,
drop like
and
this. Yeah, I'm gonna play my 2 mana rocks, and I'm gonna pass. Like that is just not okay.
So your
Yep.
grade?
I'm gonna give it a C. hesitancy.
I'm giving it a C as well. Should be lower.
I agree.
Should be lower.
This is like it. My brain is telling me D. My heart is
We
telling
know
me
that,
C.
David. Your brain always tells you the D.
Well, our average today is a C.
What do you give it? Did you already say that?
Yeah, I already said I gave it a B.
Oh, sorry, I zoned out.
And last card for us to talk about today is the legendary artifact creature. This one is Zabaz, the Glimmerwasp. It's a single mana for an insect, and it says modular 1. It says if a modular triggered ability would put one or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. This is included on our multicolored portion of the video because it has 2 activated abilities. The first one will cost you a red mana, and it says destroy target artifact you control. The second one will cost you a white mana, and it says that it gains flying until end of turn. It's 0/0. I hate this.
Oh yeah.
Why?
It wants to be like hardened scales. It's in red and in white, and the red says destroy target artifact you control. I get that you can build around this to like actually make that matter, but like, why is there not some kind of like destroy a target artifact you control, and I don't know, you're beating your opponent for 1, or just
See,
like
the one thing that I hated about this card is that it's a wasp. It's flying. Why doesn't it start with flying?
you
Why do you
gotta
have to
pay.
pay for flying? Why?
Metal wings, you gotta clip them on, dude. I don't fucking know.
I hate that this is Boros.
It doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah, this card sucks. I was pretty heated, dude. I said it's an artifact Atraxa, kind of, that kills
Did
its
it-
own shit, and you need to pay for flying.
That you get to get those additional +1/+1 counters, but this isn't even like Atraxa in that like this only cares specifically about modular,
That's
which is much more narrow.
yeah, it's like a
And
poopy Atraxa.
yeah, it's like this. Oh God, this card is just like this is crap. I would say that this is what I'm going to open up in my pre-release kit as multiple of them, but luckily, I did not open up this piece of garbage.
I kind of wish we didn't end on this card. It sucks.
I kind of wish we didn't either, but we're actually we do have a little bit of a snippet past this point. I mean, potential applications for this, I think in an artifact modular deck or some kind of artifact recursion, because I mean, you can destroy your own artifact. I don't know if I ever actually genuinely care about giving this thing flying. I'm disappointed that it just doesn't have it, because like Hunter said, it's fucking flying in the picture. This thing should just have flying.
Yeah. It also doesn't trigger itself, which is annoying.
Whack.
It would be cool if it triggered itself, because it would make more sense if you had to pay for it over and over and over, that it would increase. That'd be cool. But no, it doesn't do that.
I had to like reread this card twice while you mentioned that, just for me to like double
I
check.
did, I did too.
You're
I did too. I was
absolutely
like,
right.
okay.
Yeah, it doesn't trigger itself.
Huh.
That
Was, like,
sucks.
Did I miss something? Was there like a ton of modular in this? In
There
Modern
was
Horizons 2?
there was a couple cards of modular, not a whole ton, but a couple.
I remember like 3.
I mean, there are lots of modular cards in
Like I said,
Magic's
a
history.
couple. Oh yeah, there is. But I think the only applications or only decks that this could be in is an artifact modular theme deck.
I mean, like Affinity? But that's not ADH.
Sure-ish.
Or just an artifact deck. Like this could go into Osgear, I guess. It borrows colors.
I mean, if you're wanting to play like an EDH version of Affinity, though, like you're almost guaranteed going to be playing some version of like black and blue as well.
Wait, I changed my mind. This can't go into Osgear. It's legendary. It would kill itself.
Oh, you're talking about making copies?
Yeah.
I mean, there you go, dude. You don't even have to pay the red to destroy it. This card is great in there. You get a discount.
Perfect.
You pay for flying, you pay for killing yourself, dude. Perfect.
Overall grades, boys?
D.
I put down C. This really strikes me more as a D than a C, though.
Well, you gonna change your
changing it?
opinion?
I am gonna change it. I think that this was the last card that I looked at, so I was just feeling sad and lenient.
Okay.
This is what I do with my students. It's just like the longer the night goes on, the better their grades become.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a D as well. And I said the reasoning is this would be higher if it started with flying.
That's the fucking deciding factor for you.
That's the deciding factor for me. I hate that
Alright.
it's not flying. I hate
Alright.
you have to pay to get it flying. That's dumb. It's a wasp. It should fly automatically.
All right, buddy.
Shane, you said D,
I did say D as well. Yeah,
so we're all saying D.
we're all giving it the D.
Average
right.
is a D.
So, taking all of that into account, the overall average grade for commanders in this set was a D, based off of the reviews that we have given it. All in all, I would say that Modern Horizons 2, based on that, was a pretty crappy set for Commander.
Which is ironic because they have that in like the description of some of these set booster boxes, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you get some powerful commander cards in here."
Well, you
And
do. You just don't get commanders.
Yeah,
I mean,
There are some good cards.
There's some good commanders. There's, I think, like three, maybe four that kind of stand out above the rest. But I mean, out of 11, the majority of which I kind of looked at and said, I'm never going to build that.
Yeah.
True.
So, best overall commanders from this set, and I say that specifically from the perspective of them having to be able to helm a deck, were both Ragavan, our little monkey friend, and Lonis, the Cryptozoologist. So those two actually came in at a tie in terms of our average grade. And worst overall cards from this set, we put down Piru, our favorite little Mardu dragon that for whatever reason Shane actually likes.
Oh yeah, baby.
Asmeranda, the card that
dude.
I can't pronounce. I'm not even gonna fucking try, dude. It's Asmo from this day forth. I definitely feel like Piru just sucks way more.
Yeah, well, sometimes we just gotta. It sucks.
Sucks.
So
I think it's terrible.
tie for our least favorites.
Well.
Alrighty, guys. So this was Guys That Magic. Thank you so much for sticking around, checking out the video. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, and if you haven't had the opportunity to check out part 1 of this video, click up in the top right-hand corner, and it'll link you back that way. This is David.
This is Hunter.
I'm still Shane.
And signing off.
Later.
Later.